Welcome back, everybody. I am your broke-ass Reefer. Today I'm standing in front of my 210 broke-ass bucket list Fowler tank because I'm super excited. I've got my 11th and final fish for this reef tank, and it could be possibly one of the rarest fish in the saltwater game. This fish has been conditioned now for about 2 months, and by conditioned, I mean it's been in a tank with another fish, unfortunately. But just getting comfortable. The reason why we do this is these fish have been scooped off a beautiful, huge coral reef, put in a little bag, taken to a holding tank, put in another bag, in a box, shipped halfway across the world, put in another holding tank, most likely in California, and then shipped, put in a bag, put in a box, shipped over to your local distributor, put in another holding tank, put in a bag, put in a box, shipped to your local fish store where you pick him up and bring him back. My angelfish here, I live in Florida. This fish came from down near the Keys. It got sent to California and then back here. So this puts a lot of stress on the fish. I like to just get them comfortable, get them feeding well. And I wish I could show you this fish right now. I wish I could just dump them right into my display tank and put the video out tonight. But there's a problem. This fish is notorious for ick and velvet. And if that didn't give it away, I'm talking about the beautiful powder blue tang. This one's on my bucket list because I prefer it to the Nassau tang and any of the other, and the dory, the hippo tang. I love this fish. I think it's beautiful. So while none of the fish in my broke-ass bucket list tank here were over 60 bucks, they're all like 20 to 60 bucks when I got them. Very small. They've gotten bigger. The angel, the emperor, well, he hasn't even changed yet, but they're getting expensive, and there's no way I'm losing 10 fish at the cost of one. So it's time for quarantine. I'm going to show you my budget quarantine tank, what I did, and how I save money with it. And we're going to talk about my quarantine method for the powder blue, hyposalinity, and copper. I prefer cupramine. That's what I'm using this time. Let's go back. Let's see how he's doing. And as we do, be sure to like and subscribe. Everything I do here is done all myself. I built this whole 18 feet of Reefer madness going on here. And we got a lot of stuff going on you can't see, but there's a huge ass sump. I will probably have a video out before this one's released. So, little spoiler alert, 100-gallon monster for my final 440 acro tank. So be sure to like and subscribe. It's free for you, and it gives me inspiration, because nobody's paying me. I'm broke. Let's cue the music. Go back and check out the quarantine tank.
Broke-ass Reefer. He's the broke-ass Reefer.
Here we are behind my 18 feet of Reefer madness. This is my broke-ass quarantine tank. This is a 20-gallon acrylic tank here. It actually came with my 75, which is now built into my bar, my mixed reef tank. And you can get between a 10 for most fish, 20. If you're quarantining really big fish, you might need a 40 breeder, or a lot of fish. But for one fish at a time, you can see this. He's a medium-sized fish, and he's fine into 20 gallons. You can get them off Craigslist, budget tip, super cheap. Clean them up. Check out my video on how to do that. And then we've got a Marineland bio wheel up here, $20. You can also use an air stone and a little sponge, and that will work too for mostly for freshwater. For marine, I prefer to have the bio wheel. That's why I have these rocks in here that I got out of my sump off the 90, just to get the biological filtration going. And for this guy, I have been anticipating him for 3 months now. So this quarantine tank has been running for 3 months, and got some PVC, some 2-inch places to hide. I've got, what's that, about a $7, $8 heater in the back. It's one of my spares that I always keep around, or I put in the quarantine tank. A thermometer, there's one taped to the side of this tank. I also have one up in the marine land filter, just to double check. I want things to be good. And some things you're going to want with your quarantine tank is a ammonia alert. I have killed, unfortunately, livestock in the quarantine tank because of ammonia. I have not only one in the tank, but I have a spare. I started with 3. I put in a fresh one right before I got the fish in. Always want to be ultra careful about the ammonia levels. I actually have a tank of water down at hyposalinity, already mixed at 0.5 for copper. We'll get into that in a minute. For quick water changes, if that ammonia should spike up, I'm not going to kill another fish with ammonia. So, also, if that should happen, we've got always want to keep some prime with you. It'll neutralize everything. You do your water change, get things back on track. This fish here, like I said, has been conditioned for 2 months. He looks great. He doesn't have any visible signs of ick or velvet, but he's not, sometimes if a fish has something in its gills irritating them or on in their scales, they will scrape across the rocks or they will shake their head. He's showing none of those signs. So all of this quarantining is a prophylactic because powder blue tangs are notorious. The only way we can achieve the rarest fish in the hobby is to make sure this fish goes clean into my quarantine tank. We're going to let them go in there for about a month, and then we're going to add these guys. The last 3, they're in the 90. They've got to go so I can finish up my corner 440 acro tank. Be sure to like and subscribe and follow the journey. It is a journey, boys and girls. So, all right. So, I've been hanging around, sitting with him. I want to get him comfortable and eating well, which he has. All right. And this is day 7. So, I've brought the salinity down over the past 3 to 4 days. Now, fish can usually take a quick drop in salinity. They cannot take a quick rise in salinity. However, in the spirit of keeping him comfortable, you can see I've also removed the back to his new home. So I'm hoping he can see everybody else hanging out back here and see me when I feed him. And I think that's part of the things that have helped him, come out of the rocks and eat when I feed him, and he is eating well. So over the past 3 to 4 days, I've been bringing down the hyposalinity with water changes, just because I've been feeding him heavy, and I don't want that ammonia to spike. So I've been doing the salinity in my water changes at 1.008. I've got a target number in here of 1.009, but I know there'll be some of the old salt water left, so I'm trying to bring it down. I just tested it. It's at 0.011, which really 0.09 to 1.3 is okay. I'd like to stick it hard at 0.009. So, let's see. Oh my goodness, I don't have it here. Here it is. So it's simple enough. After the heavy water changes, I've been fine-tuning the hyposalinity down. I know that one of these will drop this 20-gallon tank 0.002, which, by the way, stick around, that's the way you want to raise it too, per day. Okay, I have some fresh RODI water over here that we will replace it with. Which will bring you to the next thing we're going to need. A good fractometer to check the salinity. I know this is going to be about 0.009. It's really a little early to check, but we'll check it real quick. Looks spot on. Looks like it's 0.010, but we'll give it a minute. If I don't need to, I can always do it again. And once you've got your salinity perfect, take a magic marker. Better yet, a dry erase. I don't have one. This is perfect. So here we go. And mark the water level on your tank. Every day, the water is going to evaporate, and you want to put fresh RODI water back up to your mark, and that will keep your salinity perfect. And you want to do this every day. If you don't have an automatic top off, which I don't, if you do, that's better. But also, you should have a lid on your tank. I'm not worried about it with this guy. I don't think he's going to jump out, but a lot of your fish will, and a lot of your fish won't tolerate hyposalinity, won't tolerate copper. So be sure to, here's a short list of them. So be sure to research your fish before your quarantine process. But we're in the parasite killing range, and how it kills these parasites is it's like osmosis. There's a difference in the salinity inside the parasite and the outside water, and it will filtrate through and try and equal out in the cells of your parasites and cause them to explode and die. So nothing's going to live through this. Fluke's not going to live through this. Ick's not going to live through this. Velvet's not going to live through this. Let's just hope our beautiful powder blue does. We've got our hypersalinity right. We know he's looking good. So now it's time for the cupramine. It's time to add the copper. This is what I use, cupramine. I'm going to use 20 drops per 10.5 gallons. So I've got 20 gallons here. I'm going to use 40 drops. A lot of people will do half at a time. I've got a little more. This is, at this level, I'm probably more about 12, 13 gallons. So I'm comfortable putting in the dose for the 20 gallons. And you wait 48 hours, test it, and then do it again, same dosage, wait another 48 hours, and we're looking for a target of 0.5 on the copper. And this isn't a broke ass budget tip because these suckers cost 50, 60 bucks, but they're worth every penny. I've got a Hannah copper checker, and you want to check it after the day after each dose, and you want to check it at least every 2 days through the medicine process, which is going to be 14 days once we get our levels to 0.5 on the copper. And that is also a good span for the hyposalinity as well. So once that is done, and actually, we're going to start the copper now, so let's do this now. Take out all your media. This is carbon I had in here before my fish even got biofilters. Your filters in here are going to have carbon in them too. This one doesn't. I've already replaced it with a sponge, with just a filter that I use for all my other spots in my sump. It's pretty dirty. We'll go ahead and replace that. Just stick a new one in there. And now we're ready to start the copper treatment. 14 days once we hit 0.5 on our Hannah checker. If any blotches, spots come up, if we see any signs, that time clock flips over and starts over. Any problems, it's better to be safe than sorry than to kill all the rest of your fish, especially when I'm working on my bucket list, broke ass bucket list, fish only tank back here, which we're going to talk about in one of our videos coming up here shortly. So once those 14 days are done, I'm going to do a heavy water change at the same low hyposalinity, and then I'm going to start bringing it up. I'm going to put in fresh carbon, which will take out all your copper. I'll put in a fair bit probably, and 0.002 per day. You want to rise on the salinity, no more. So on a 20-gallon tank, we're looking at it doesn't matter, any tank. We're starting at 0.009, so 10, 15, you're looking at a good 8 days, I'd say. 0.002 per day, and then once he is up to the proper salinity, he goes in my display tank. So, and these guys hopefully will be nice, my beautiful angel. And then we'll have to, don't forget, then the 3 guys from the 90 are going in. And then we'll do a rundown of my bucket list fish only tank. It will be complete. Super stoked. Thanks for hanging in till the end. Like and subscribe.